Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to lesson 3 of our Instagram Boost Bootcamp. Thank you for sticking with me and for all of your efforts so far in joining the lessons, watching them back on replay, taking part in the tasks as well. I'm loving seeing all of your entries come in. So thank you ever so much for that. It's going to be highly contested for the winner of that place on my free social media course. So thank you ever so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you're seeing the difference that can make to your social media, and more importantly as well. Today's lesson, we're going to be talking about Reels. So I'm going to be sharing my mobile screen as well, because we're going to do a tutorial on how that you can create some really simple but effective Reels for your cake business as well, and look at all the different things that you can use, because I know Reels can feel very overwhelming. There's lots of things that you can do. Lots of people talk about, making sure you use trending audio and all of these kind of things. But they don't have to be tricky. They can be really, really simple and straightforward. And if you've ever used one of my Steal My Reel features that I share usually weekly on my Instagram page, or used any of my templates, hopefully you've seen that already, but I'm going to go more into that as well today. We're going to do a hands-on tutorial. So things are slightly different today in that I'm going to be sharing my mobile screen with you instead of just here. Shall we get started? Let's get in. Before we do though, if you've had any experience with Reels, comment, let me know what you think of them. How do they make you feel? Do you find them easy to do? Do you enjoy creating them, or do you just avoid them like the plague? So let me know. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen set up. So bear with me while we get that all ready for you. Like I say, welcome back. Lesson 3. Really excited to be working through these lessons with you this week. Today, like I said, we're going to be looking at Instagram Reels. I'm going to be switching between my laptop screen and my mobile screen to show you the different elements in these presentation slides and others within the Instagram app directly to walk you through the process of creating Reels. So I'm not using any third-party apps or anything like that to create the Reels today. I'm going to show you how you can do it all within the one app. So let's get stuck in. Like I say, let me know what your experience is with Reels. Are you new to creating them, or are they a content form that you use regularly? What do you think about them? Let me know. So what are Reels? So if you're new to Reels, these are short videos shared on Instagram, and they are up to 90 seconds in length. Instagram are toying and trialing longer Reels. There was talks of up to 3 minutes. That has been rolled out on some accounts, not all. I don't have those longer Reels just yet. Not sure I particularly want them. So I'm quite happy with 90 seconds at most. I actually tend to keep mine under 10 seconds in general, and we'll come on more onto the lengths of Reels later. So, but they are short form videos on Instagram, and they are best created in the vertical format. So this means you have your phone upright, not this way round, this way round. And all videos shared on Instagram are now Reels. So if you shared a video on its own, that is, that will instantly become a Reel. And what makes Reels different is that instead of only seeing Reels from accounts that you follow, you can see them from all Instagram accounts on the Reels tab, whether you're following that account or not. So that means you have an opportunity to reach more people than ever before with your Reels. I often have a lot of Reels reaching people that don't follow me, reaching new accounts. Now, that's tricky to get the balance. Because obviously you don't want loads of random people, and I often talk about this on my Instagram page. You don't want a reel to go viral if it's just going to reach, hundreds of people that aren't relevant. They're not in your area, they're never going to buy a cake from you. That's why we need to tailor the content and get those keywords like we were talking about on day 1 in our profile and things like that to get the right people. But they are a really great way of reaching new followers and new potential customers. So what makes a good reel? Instagram says that creators should share Reels that are entertaining and fun, so they grab attention, make people laugh, or has an exciting surprise or a twist. So they're grabbing that attention and making people watch. They could be inspiring, so they could start a trend that others can easily participate in, or use creative tools like text and filters or camera effects on screen. It's about anything that grabs that attention. Or is a bit of a surprise, so it takes people by surprise. I know a lot of those burn cakes when they very first came out, think about them what you like, but when they first started coming out, that was quite an interesting thing because it was surprising to people. And also, like we said earlier, use the vertical video. So that's referred to as a ratio of 9:16. It ensures your in content is fully immersive. There's no black lines above it. If you shared a video that was this way round, because of the height of the video, this space here would all be black. And that's not as attention grabbing for your audience, and they'll tend to scroll on by. In addition to this, algorithm favors reels that have higher engagement. So if your video is getting more comments, likes, shares, saves, watch time, as well as another important factor, they'll push it more. Instagram will push it more because they're seeing people are already engaging with it. So more people want to see it. So Instagram will say, yep, I'm going to show this more because people are enjoying it. So what can you do to encourage this? So one thing that I do, create short clips. Like I said at the very, very beginning, you can use up to 90 seconds at the moment. 7 to 15 seconds is actually the ideal length for most audiences. There was a trend a while back where reels at 3 seconds were doing really well, which is fine if you can get your message across in that point. But the reason the 3 seconds kind of did well is because more people had to watch it. It was like the looping trend. People had to watch it more to actually see what was within it. But I think people have kind of cottoned onto that and like, well, you're making me watch it multiple times. So, but anyway, I tend to aim around the 7 to 10 seconds for me is ideal, but you can play around that. That's not to say that longer reels can't be successful, but they have to be engaging and make people want to watch it to the end. So that's what you're thinking. If you can get that message across in 7 to 10 seconds, don't labor it for 30 if you don't need to. Including text on screen on your reel is another good way to encourage that engagement. Just remember, don't cover your image fully. I see a lot of reels where there's text all over everything behind it. As a user, it's not very attractive for me because I want to see your cake behind it. So depending on the message you're trying to get across, of course, it's not something that you want to do. You don't want to cover your creations in text that people can't see it. Also, Instagram recommends using the music from their library and or original audio that you have created as well. I'm going to come on to showing you how you can find trending audios and things like that later as well. They also, and I suggest this as well, include a hook within the first 2 seconds. So this is a reason for your viewer to keep watching. If they've seen it within the first second and they're not interested, they're going to scroll on by. So you want to give a visual hook is what it's called. So this could be text or it could be visual. So for example, for cake serving reel, you could add a headline over the first seconds of the video, within the first 1 or 2 seconds of the video, that says, "You won't believe how many portions this birthday cake serves." Because if you've got a 6-inch cake, for example, you know that you can get a lot more out of that than a customer can. And if you've gone and got 30 portions out of that 6-inch cake, that's amazing. And you're doing 2 things, well, you're doing several things here. You've got that hook to capture their attention. They're like, well, how many can I get out of it? This better be surprising. And then you've also educated them on how many portions they're going to get out of that cake that they order. And they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Because most people cut into wedges as well. So it's education, but also you're giving them that reason to hang around and watch your reel. And you're building trust at the same time because you're positioning yourself as that expert. So top tip. So what you should not do is share videos that are blurry due to low resolution. Because if you come across something that's blurry, what do? You're going to scroll on by. You should not show videos that are visibly recycled from other apps. So if you have posted a video on TikTok, for example, and then you download that and directly share it on Instagram, it will have the TikTok logo on that. Instagram's not too chuffed about that. They're not really happy to have that logo shown. So if you're going to do that, use an app called Snaptic or Snapinsta. If you just if you search TikTok video downloader or the other way around, anything like that, there's loads of online apps that you can use to download your video without the watermark. Don't upload videos that have a border around them. Like I said earlier, if you film a video landscape, it's going to have ugly black boxes above and below it. Instagram doesn't like that. It doesn't tend to push videos as much that way round. It's not immersive enough for the customer. And also, like we said earlier, don't cover your text in loads of, don't cover your image, sorry, in loads of text either. Customers want to see what's behind it. So how important are reels? So you may have seen an announcement by Instagram a while back saying that they were taking the focus off Reels. When they very first launched Reels, Reels were everything. If you weren't sharing Reels, no other content was getting pushed whatsoever. So a lot of people are celebrating this news that Reels aren't important anymore. But this isn't because they're not important. It actually just meant that the platform's evening out the prominence given to Reels over other posts. So there's much more of an even playing field now with your carousel posts, static posts, and Reels. It's not just weighted more towards Reels anymore. Some audience will, of course, respond more to video content. So it is still really important to use Reels and keep your audience's interest by showing different styles of content. You know, if you're just sharing single posts all the time, mix it up. Share a single post, share a carousel post where you slide between your images, share Reels. It keeps your audience's interest. And do you know what? Reels are such a great way to show off your cakes. It's such an easy way as well. You just take one video of your cake and you've got loads of Reels and content that you can share. So now we're going to get into this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to create a Reel. I'm going to run through the basics of creating one, and this is going to include a menu overview. So I'm going to talk through all of the different tools within the app itself. Like I said, I'm not using any external apps or editing other than your actual camera. So all you need is your phone for this. We don't need to download any other apps or anything like that. We're doing all of this on Instagram. So I've taken some screenshots here to show you the different buttons and the functions for setting up a Reel. And then I'm going to go ahead and show my mobile screen to show you all of this in action and look at creating an actual Reel using the template function as well. So here we are in Instagram. We're on the app on my profile page. You can also do this from the feed page as well. So you've got that little plus icon on the top right-hand corner. Tap that and it's going to open up what's called the Create window. And you'll have Reel at the top of this menu. So all you're going to do is just tap Reel, and then this will open up a page showing different options to start with your camera roll, drafts, templates, or made for you feature. For the purpose of this training, I've selected camera, which will then give you a screen like this, and whether your camera's front facing or back facing, I've just done hand over it here so that it's not showing a picture or anything behind it, but you'll have a screen that looks similar to this with the menu buttons down on one side. So these buttons, to talk through these, you've got audio. So this is where you'll select your audio. There are other places for this later on, which I'll come on to. You've got filters and special effects. Layout options, so you can split your screen, so you could have it in different grid styles on a Reel. You could start with a green screen effect, which is where you can have, you could choose to be on the Reel yourself with a green screen behind you, where you could upload one of your pictures, so you could talk about something. So for example, if I was on a green screen now, this background could be whatever I wanted to change it to. You can start with an add yours sticker. This isn't something that I use on my wedding cake business. I do tend to use it over here on the cake business queen side of things to give you prompts and things like that. You could change the Reel length here. So you might open this up and it might say 15, 30, 60 or 90 in that box. I recommend changing it to 90 and starting at that point always, because then even if your Reel was only 7 seconds long, you have not limited yourself right from the start. So I tend to change this to 90 from the very start. So it's the longest possible. And then if I choose it to be shorter, it can be. Now, dual screen means that you can film both your front and your back camera if you have that at the same time. So if you try that out, you'll have a little box at front. So again, you could be filming your reaction to something that's on in front of you. It's not something I really use very often, but feel free to have a play with it. And gesture control means that rather than, so you might have your phone set up on a tripod, for example, and then you want to start filming, rather than leaning in to press the button, you can put your hand up and it will just start recording that way. So it'll detect when you want to tell it to stop and start recording. Then you also have some buttons across the top as well. And these buttons allow you to set the speed that you will upload your content for your video at, so you can speed it up or slow it down. There's also a timer to count you in. So that's helpful for videos where you're talking and you want to introduce something, or if you're doing a lip sync or something like that. So you can start with any of these options. So you might choose your audio first, or you might want to add a filter first or something like that. But my preference is to start with my actual content and then the audio after. You can also record directly here. So you can just press and hold the camera button, the record button, just as you would if you were taking a photo or video on the camera in your camera app on your phone. So you can do that directly into here. I prefer not to. I prefer to take my video in my camera and then upload it into here, but you can absolutely do that directly in here as well. So let's create a reel now. I'm going to head over to Instagram. I'm going to share my mobile screen with you. I'm going to start creating a reel now.
Okay, so here we are. We're on my Instagram profile and we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a reel. So the first thing we're going to do is going to tap that plus button in the top corner, and then we're going to select reel. And it'll straight away pop you into my camera roll. So there's my dog, because my camera roll is full of my dog, my kids, my cakes, as I'm sure yours are too. So I'm just going to change it to favorites because I've already popped some videos in here so we can make a start from this. I'm using an iPhone. This may be slightly different if you are using Android, but the steps that we're going to go through should be more or less the same. So if you are on Android and you notice anything different, please comment and let me know, and I will help out with that as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is select a video to pop into our reel. I've already popped one into my favorites. We're going to start with some plain cupcakes and we're going to transform them. So it's quite a simple reel that we're going to create, but it's effective and will allow me to show you all of the steps that we've just worked through to create a nice, simple, effective reel for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap on the cupcakes video here. You can add all of your videos or photos from this screen. So you would just tap all of the ones that you want to include. I'm going to show you how to add clips at a later stage as well. So I'm just going to press next. And this will add the cupcakes video here. And you can see on the side, we've got the option to add audio or change the speed at this point. Just going to tap on the screen to pause it for 1 second while I talk to you, because I don't want it to freeze my screen. We've also got the white bar at the bottom. So if the clip is too long, you can drag the toggle buttons from either side to make this a bit shorter. You can also do this on the next screen too. Now I have a feeling that that's frozen. Let's let that catch up. So you can see just by moving these sliders along the sides, you can adjust the speed, adjust the length of your clip there too. Now let's say the speed of this was a little bit too slow. I'm actually really happy with the speed of this one, but if I wanted to change that, I can tap that 1 times button on the side, and we can change that to double speed, 3 times the speed, 4 times the speed, or we could slow it down. There's a 0.3 and a 0.5. So if I wanted to double the speed, I'd just tap that 2x and I press that there and it will speed up the clip for me. And just wait for that to catch up. So that's it at 2 times speed. Or if I wanted it super slow, I could press the 0.3x, which I will show you in a second. And you can see how that slows that down. Like I say, I'm quite happy with this at normal speed, so I'm just going to change that back to 1 times. There you go. And I'm quite happy with where that clip is situated. If I wanted to, though, I could use the slider at the bottom just to drag this across and move and choose which section of the clip that I wanted to select, as you'll see it's doing here. And then when you're happy, just press next. And then it'll show you video so far. I'm just going to pause that again for a second, just because the motion tends to freeze my camera. You won't need to keep pausing it. You can keep working as normal. It's just for the purpose of synced my mobile to my camera, so I can record this for you. So you'll just see me keep pausing it every now and again, just so that we can keep the continuity of the video for you. So I want to add another clip to this. You can see there is options at the top. I could add my audio at this stage. I am purely going to add the audio at the very end just because it makes it easier for me to show you. You can add your audio or filters or anything like that at any stage. You can do any of this in any order that you like. I'm going to add the next clip first though. So we're going to transform these plain cupcakes to decorated cupcakes. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that video now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that edit video button at the bottom. And then I'm going to press add clips, which is also at the bottom. And it'll take me back into my camera roll. And I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a video in here of some decorated cupcakes. Now you'll see that I'm selecting pre-recorded videos. This is what I do most of the time when I'm creating my reels. You can record directly in the app. But my own personal preference, I like to take videos and photos whilst I'm decorating or after I've decorated anything or made anything, and then put them together in reels afterwards. I just find that much easier for me than I'm concentrating on getting my cakes done. Take my photos, take my videos, and then I'll set aside some time later on to then go and create my reels from this. The only time I don't do that is if I've planned out ahead that I want to do a specific transition. But as I'm going to come and show you, there are some transitions you can do in the presets in here, which means you don't even have to do that advanced in ahead of time either. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select this video right in the middle of the decorated cupcakes. Now you can see this video is much slower, so I'm going to adjust the speed again. So I'm going to tap that 1 times button, and I'm going to change it to 2 times. And I'm much more happy with that speed. The clip is too long for me. So if you remember, I said that the ideal time, length of time for a reel is about 7 seconds. I find that my most highest performing videos in terms of views tend to be around 5 seconds. So I'm going to adjust this clip here just by dragging that timer across the bottom. And I'm going to show you again in another screen where else you can do this as well. So don't worry if you haven't done it at this stage. Just going to drag it into there. I'm going to move so I would like to record from where it starts scanning over the box. I'm going to drag it to about there. Then it reaches the other side as well. So quite happy with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and press next and let the screen catch up. So here we've got our 2 clips have been put in together. So if I just tap on that and then unpause it, you'll see we've got both of our clips now in together. Now, it's not the most interesting of reels right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a transition between. Now, Instagram has some presets that we can use. So I'm going to tap edit video. And you've got what we've got now. You can see we've got both of our clips here at the bottom, and we've got lots of options here for editing. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a transition between the 2 clips. So you can see we've got these white boxes in between and at both ends. I'm going to press the one in between, and it will give you some pre-made transitions. So we have got, this one's set to 0 at the moment, so there's no transition right now. So we can select zoom, blur, warp, blur, spin, quite like that one, and glitch. Now I quite like spin, so I'm going to select that one, and then you just press done, and then we've added a transition between our cupcakes. That's looking quite psychedelic at the top. That's just because I've paused it. If I press play, it will show us the full video again. You can also see that our current length of our reel is 4 seconds long. So you can see that timer just underneath our video there. It's telling me that that is 4 seconds long. If I wanted to adjust each clip so they were shorter, you can just tap on the section that you want to adjust. So we can see that our first one is about 2 seconds long, or just under 2 seconds long. And the second clip, if I slide over, you'll see is about 2.5 seconds, which I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy to leave that as it is. If you wanted to add a filter on at all, if I go back up to the video up here, just unpause it so it's not quite so blurry. Now you can swipe across with your finger, just as like you would do with when you're on your story. So if I slide my finger over my screen, it will give, so this is it normally. That's it on Paris. We've got Los Angeles, Oslo, Lagos, Melbourne, Jakarta, Abu Dhabi, Buenos Aires, New York, Jaipur, Cairo, Tokyo, which is a nice black and white one sometimes, Rio de Janeiro, and then we're back to normal. So you've got those filters there that you can use. Or if you go up to the top, there's a little button there with some sparkly stars on it. There's 3 stars. If you tap that, it will give you lots of filters in here that you can use as well. So at the moment, that's on one called Hey. You can flick through them. You can change to all these different filters. here. And if you happen to put one on, if you're not happy with it, you just tap it again and it will take it off for you. You can save filters to your favorites and things like that as well. One called aesthetics. There's lots of different folders here that you can put one in to, and you can have a play with those. I'm not going to add a filter onto this one. In fact, I might just slide it over and pop it onto Paris, because I find that lightens everything up slightly. Just be careful, you don't want to make them look unreal or not representative of your work. But if you just want to brighten it up, that one's quite a nice one. So let's go back to edit video. If you wanted to adjust the length of the clips in here, like I say, you can just drag these yellow bars here. You can split them. You've got all sorts of options in there. You can also, this is where you can also change the speed. So if you hadn't changed the speed at the very beginning, you can do that in here. So you can see at the bottom, we've got the 2 times, because I put this clip on double speed. If I tap on that, you've also got a slider here that you can adjust it on as well. So if I wanted to make it slightly less than double speed or more than, you can do that in here. I'm going to leave that one as it is though. So I'll just tap done. Go back. You can reorder your clips. So if you wanted to adjust them, let's say you put a reel together with lots of different cakes and you want to change the order. If you tap reorder, you can just drag one to the other. And I'm going to put them back again because obviously we don't want to adjust those ones. So if I click done, this is where we can add some text and our audio as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some text, which I recommend you do with your reels, because this is where you can add your hooks and get people really interested in what is going on in your video. Now you can do this from the bottom. You can press text here. I'm just going to press done because I also want to show you where else you can do it from. So if I tap the main video at the top, you've also got the letters at the top of 2 A's. You can tap there and you can put your text in here. So I'm going to type, watch these cupcakes transform. So if I just type this straight in, watch these cupcakes transform. And I want, that's at the moment is brighter lines. So if I just tap this, the 4 lines at the top on the menu, if I tap that, it will put it to the left, or rather to the right, and then I can centralize it. I always quite like it central. And then when you're happy, just press done. Now I've paused the video, so that's why it's not moving or anything behind it. You can drag your text wherever you want to position it. The blue line is telling me that it is in the middle. If I drag it a bit further down, I'll get a horizontal blue line that's telling me it's smack bang in the middle of my reel, which I'm quite happy with. But one thing I do want to show you is where not to place your text. If I drag this text over to the sides, you'll see these yellow lines come up. That is the guides. Do not put your text anywhere near those because people will not be able to read it. Likewise, if I drag this further down, you'll see that the menu pops up. So it gives you a faint outline of where your profile name, where the heart and the comments button and that kind of thing will be. You do not want to put your text anywhere near here because people will just not be able to read it. Likewise, if we go right up to the top, you can see where it says Reels and the camera button. Don't put your text up there because people just won't be able to see it and it'd be a waste. You can also see that that text is white and not going to stand out very well. So what you can do is if I tap on the text, if you've got these letters down the bottom, you can change your font, which you can see here as well. So you can choose any of these. My recommendations is to pick a font that you can actually read. So the first few are fine. I would not pick this one. It's not the easiest to read. Most of the others are fine. So you can choose any one of these. I quite like this one. You can pop a box behind it quite easily. If you just press that A at the top of the 2 stars, it will pop a box behind it, and you can change the colors of these too. So to change the color, we're going to press the color wheel at the top, and then you're going to be given these circles of color at the bottom. And there's quite a few different preset colors that you can choose from. So if I just went ahead, let's say I picked that one. But this might not be the right kind of pink, for example. So you can press and hold on the pink circle and it will give you this nice gradient, which you can drag, just drag your finger across and you can move it into whichever color you want. Or let's say we wanted it to match the color of the cupcakes behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the eyedropper tool on the bottom left-hand side. And then you'll see it's given us this little picker that we can drag around the reel and we can choose a color. So let's say I wanted it to be a nice pink color to match these cupcakes. I'm going to pick that one there. Or if you wanted it to be the blue color or the green, for example, you can pick those out too. So let's settle on the green. It's obviously put the lighter green in the background and the darker on the top. If you wanted to flip that the other way around, you just press that A in the star, A and the stars box at the top again, and it will change it to the green, the darker green, or you press it again, it will take it off completely. So I quite like it with the light, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to press done. If you want to make the text slightly smaller, you can use this slider on the side, or you can drag it, pinch and drag it with your fingers, and as you can see, you can move it around like that way as well. So I'm going to keep it about there. But I obviously don't want this text. If I press play, that text is going to be all over the whole length of the reel. But we only want it on the first part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and I'm going to press edit video. And then you can see down here, you've got your cupcake clips. And then in the purple box at the bottom here, we've got this text here. So this is what we've added. I only want this to appear at the very beginning. So I'm going to drag this. So all I've done is tapped that to make the yellow box appear around the outside. And then I've just dragged the left-hand side with my finger so that it's at the beginning of the video. And then I'm going to grab the end of the text, so on this side, and I'm going to drag it to the end of that clip. In fact, I'm going to take a little bit further in before the transition starts. So I'm just going to leave it there. And if I press play on the video, if I just drag that back to the beginning, if I press play, you'll see that the text only appears at the very beginning of that video. Now, another piece of text I would recommend you add is some kind of call to action. So what do you want the viewers to do now? So as this is cupcakes, I want them to order. I want them to message me to order now. So if this was a video for your Christmas products or something like that, you would encourage them. You want them to get in touch with you to order. If you just wanted them to comment on your post, you would put a call to action to say, hey, comment and tag someone who needs these in their life, or give this post a like, or share to your stories, or something like that. Give them an action that you want them to do. Don't just rely on them, thinking that they will do that naturally, because it won't always do that. So I'm going to put a call to action here to tell people to DM me to order. So we're going to add text again. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put text. And we're going to do the exact same thing again, and I'm just going to put DM to order yours today. And if I wanted to drop that down, just tap your cursor in the middle and just press return. So that's how I want it to set. And I want this to be the same color as the previous text as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press done. I'm going to unpause it. In fact, the text has added it in the wrong timing for me. So pause that. And what I'm going to do is, because you can see it's added my text, but it's decided I only wanted to add it at that point. So I'm just going to drag it. I'm going to set the time. I'm just going to set it to full length for now, because what I want to do is I want to pick the color out from the previous text. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to come back up to the top. I'm just going to unpause it so that we've got both texts on the screen, and then I've paused it again. Just wait for the video to catch up. You can see we've now got both of our text on the same screen, and I'm going to tap on the DM to order text, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to tap the color wheel at the top, and then I'm going to tap on the little eyedropper tool, and then I'm going to pick my color out from the text that we've already created. And I actually quite like this one the other way around, so I'm going to keep the dark green as the background. Press done, and then I want to change the timing, and then we're going to position the text as well. So I'm going to tap on DM to order at the bottom, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to drag this yellow bar so that it fits in. So you can see it drags, that's telling me that that's in the middle of the clips, but I want to bring it in so that the transition's already done, and drag it in a little bit further and move that so that it's showing on our screen. And then I'm going to tap on the screen itself, and I want to drag this down and pop it in the middle. And actually, now that I've seen that there, I think I'd rather have the light green in the background. So I'm going to tap on the text, and I'm just going to press that box again at the top with the A in it, and I'm going to do that there. So I'm just going to press done, and then that sits in there. And I'm going to press play so that you can see what this looks like. So watch these cupcake transform, spin transition, DM yours to order today. So that is our reel. Now, the last thing that we need to do is add some audio. The quickest and easiest way to do this is to tap that music note at the top, or again, you can go into edit video at the bottom and you can click add audio. And Instagram will automatically suggest lots of audio here for you to look at. I can see that it's suggested lots of trending audio already, and I can tell that by the upwards diagonal arrows. That indicates all of these trending audios. So we've got plenty here to choose from. If you didn't want to choose any of those, you can go into see more. It will suggest you some here. You can search at the top by putting some keywords in. I could type in cupcakes if I wanted to be really literal, or if there was a piece of music that you knew you wanted. Or you can go into your saved, if you've ever saved any audio from a reel, which I'll show you afterwards. You can go into saved and it will give you all of the music that you may have saved to use at a later date as well. So I'm going to go back to this for you suggested, and I'm going to use this Taylor Swift one, Style. You can see it's trending. It's been used by just over 11,500 reels. So that's quite good. I wouldn't want to pick something like this top one here that says Mind Blown. It's been used nearly 140,000 times. That's a lot. You want to ideally look at something that's been less than 10,000 views. So again, That's My Style by Peggy Lee. That might be quite a good one. I don't know that song, so I'm just going to press play to see what that sounds like. So if I just press play at the side, it can give me a preview. So there's that one. I don't want to use that one for this video. I'm going to use the Taylor Swift one. So if I preview that, it will play. When my Wi-Fi catches up, it will play. So what, I'll show you it on the next video. That's playing there. And you'll be able to pick the part of the music that you want to use. I'm just going to stop that. I'm going to select that one. All I need to do is tap on it in the middle and it will add the audio to the video here. Or drag this to choose the part of the audio that you want to use. So if you wanted to use a part with lyrics in, you can drag it down and it will show you eventually. And select the part. I'm just going to leave it somewhere around here. And you can move that about. Just all I did is use my finger just to slide about in music, so you can pick whichever part that you want. I'm quite happy with it there. So I'm just going to press done. And you can see the audio. Just pause that a second so you can hear me. And you can see the audio here. Again, if you tap that, if you want to adjust the section again, you can go into the menu at the bottom here, or you can replace it. You can change the music so it's just at a certain part if you wanted to, or drag that along. And you can change the volume of this as well. So if I go back to this screen here and use this slider across the bottom, you can change the volume. So my camera audio, so if let's say there was some talking in the background of the video that I recorded, don't worry, you can adjust that camera audio here, so I can change that there, or you can adjust the volume of your music as well. And the reason you might want to do that is you might want to do a voiceover. So if I just show you it just with music, so if I press play, that's what our reel is looking like. So it's looking great. But let's say I wanted to do a voiceover. Now, I know a lot of you will be screaming at me saying, no, why would I want to do that? But it is a really great way. You can talk over it and add original audio to your reels. So I'm going to show you how to do that now as well. Now, the first thing I want to do is turn that Taylor Swift audio down, because if I'm doing a voiceover, I don't want that music to be too loud. So again, I'm going to go back into edit video. I'm going to go to volume, and I'm going to turn this all the way down to about 3. Because then it'll be really subtle in the background. Instagram can still see that I've used a trending audio, so it still picks up and gives me the brownie points for that, but I'm going to do my own voiceover. So I'm going to press done. I am going to go to the audio button again. So I'm going to go to this up here. I'm going to go into that music note button. I'm going to go to voiceover. And it will give me a screen like this. Now, to start recording your voiceover, it's really, really simple. All you do is press and hold the record button in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that now. So are you ready? I'm going to pick up my camera so it's nearer my face, and I'm going to record my voiceover. Watch these cupcakes transform. And then I've just let go of the button, and then I'm going to record part 2. DM me to order now. And that's added my clip. Now, let's say I wasn't happy with the last clip. All you need to do is press that X button and it will remove the last clip that you recorded. I'm quite happy with it though, so I'm going to press keep, and I'm going to press play for you so you can hear this. If I press play, you'll now have my voiceover and the music in the background. So press play. So there we go, we've got our voiceover. Now, the voiceover is really great if you wanted to add your own captions. So rather than adding the text on the screen, what we could do is add captions. So if I press the sticker button at the top, which is that square with the smiley face in, you've got all of these options here. So you can add all sorts of fun stickers, polls, the sliders, and that kind of thing from the stickers option. If I want to add captions, I simply tap captions. It will transcribe my audio. Now, if I press play, obviously you're going to get captions and the text that we've added on screen. But if I press play, it will show you. So we could delete the text if we wanted to. So for example, if I want to delete that, watch these. So that's my captions that you can move around. If I wanted to delete the other text, for example, if I can get hold of it. If I tap it down there at the bottom, for example, I could go to that and I can just press discard and it would delete that for us. And then if you really didn't want your voice on it, but you did want your captions, what you would do is you would go to your go to the volume button again. So what I did then was I just tap that music note. If I go to controls, you can turn your voiceover right down to say 1, and it does have to have volume on it for the captions. And if I press done, go back to this and press play, you'll see that the captions are still there, but you can't hear my voice. So there we go, we've added the captions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete those though, because I don't want them on this particular video. And to do that, all I'm going to do is tap that CC button at the bottom, and I'm just going to press discard. So that's got rid of those. And then this is our finished reel. So let me press play and you can see that with the audio. In fact, let's turn the audio back up again. So I'm just going to go into music, controls. I'm going to turn Taylor Swift back up. We're going to turn her all right the way up. So there we go. I'm going to press play, and then this is our finished reel. We've got text, we've got transition, we've changed the color on the text, we have set timings for the text, we've added a filter, we're pretty much good to go. So I'm going to press next. And then this will take us to the screen where we can write our caption, we can edit our reels cover, we can do all of these good things down here. Now, what I like to do at this stage is save it as a draft, so that whatever happens, if I get kicked out of Instagram or whatever, I've saved all my hard work at this point. So what I'm going to do is tap saved draft, and it will just go into my draft. So, and then I can go back into it again. All of that hard work that we've just done is saved. Now, to edit your cover, you'll tap edit cover, and then you'll notice that it fills the screen. It will choose one for you from here, or you can choose from your camera roll. And it's really important to think about what this looks like, because if you tap on the top, you'll see it says cover. So your Reels images have a bigger cover. Or if you go to profile grid, this will show you what it looks like as the square, what it will actually look like on your profile. And you can move this about up and down. So if I was quite happy with that, I would just probably move it so it says, watch these cupcakes transform as my middle cover. However, if let's say you wanted it to be the nice, pretty picture of the finished cupcakes, you would go back to cover and you'd press add from camera roll. And then this is where you would pick your picture. So if I change that to my favorites, and I'm going to pick out, I think I've got a picture of these cupcakes in here. Yes, I have. So I'm going to tap on that one. And we'll add the finished cupcake picture there for me. And again, if I go to profile grid, you can just move that about so you're happy with what it would look like on your profile. So I'm tap done. When I'm happy with that, it will have saved that there. So that's all looking really nice. You can write your caption. So in here, again, reiterate what you want them to do. You could say something like, these cupcakes were ordered for my customer for her daughter's special birthday. They wanted something with a real wow factor, you know, sell the reasons behind it, why they would want these cupcakes, not just, oh, these are some pretty cupcakes. And then again, repeat your call to action. So tag someone who would love these, DM me to order today, something like that. You can add, so you've got some other options. So let's say we've written I'm just going to write DM to order just to show you how to type in a caption there, but obviously you would write much more than that. Include some hashtags in your caption too. So if you're a local baker, if you're not doing these for postal treats, make sure you're using geo hashtags. So for me, I'm based in Lincoln, in Lincolnshire. So I would use something like Cake Maker Lincoln, Birthday Cakes Lincoln, Cupcakes Lincoln, that kind of thing. And then you'll also see you've got some other options down here too. So the add message button, particularly if your call to action is for them to DM to order, you can add your message button and then you just confirm where you want it sent to. So it automatically is linked to my profile and it should do to yours too. Press done. And what that will do is when somebody's watching your reel, it will show a message me button on the bottom of your reel. So it makes it really, really easy for a customer to message you. So it's a great one to use. The audience, I suggest you always leave it as everyone. Instagram has a feature for you to have a close friends network, which means that let's say you've got a group of customers that repeat order from you all the time, and you may only want to push this reel to them. You could change it to them. I wouldn't recommend you do that. Just leave it to everyone. Add topics. So this is quite a nice feature. It helps Instagram to recognize the topics of your reel. So if we scroll down, there's a food and drink section. Press see more, you can see all of these. So you've got baking, cakes, there's even cupcakes. The only ones I would recommend you suggest for this particular reel would be cakes and cupcakes. You could select baking. The reason I wouldn't do that is because you're not selling to bakers, you're selling to ordinary customers who want to buy your goods, not bake them themselves. So just bear in mind who you're trying to attract. Obviously, if it was a cookies reel, you could do that one there, anything like that. It just helps Instagram to push your reel to the right people that are interested in cakes and cupcakes. You don't have to use this feature. Sometimes I've not seen any difference necessarily between using topics and not using topics, but sometimes it's just a nice to have if you want to. And you can select up to 3 topics. And when you're happy, just press done. Add your location, again, a really important feature. If you're not doing postal brownies, or even if you're, or something like that, postal treats, just select United Kingdom if you are, assuming that you're in the UK. If not, it should suggest your local locations. So for me, I am in Lincoln, so I would just tap that one there and it will add my location as Lincoln. If your location doesn't show, however, if you just tap add location, you can search and type it in here and you can pick it up. And again, just select your location from there. Share to Facebook. If you've linked your account, you can just select that there. So I would just toggle that on. You can turn it on for all reels or just this reel. So I'll turn it on for all reels, and then all my future ones would share to Facebook as well. Now, there are some advanced settings for reels. So my favorite one of these is the ability to schedule reels. So all I did was tapped advanced settings at the bottom. There's a template feature, which I'm going to come on to show you. So if you didn't want people to use your reel as a template, you could toggle that on. But schedule content. So this is what I want to show you. If I toggle this button, it will allow me to schedule my reel directly from the Instagram app. So let's say I wanted to schedule it for tomorrow, or any other day in the future that I wanted to schedule my reel for. And you just set, and then you tap set time. I'm not going to do this because I don't want this to share to my page. What I will say is be careful with this reel, because this feature, it is still problematic. It's fairly new. Sometimes it has a habit of just sharing your reel straight away, which I've had happen to me. So just be mindful of that. Also, once you have scheduled it, you cannot put it back into your drafts. It deletes it altogether. So what we want to do is make sure we've saved it down to our camera roll before scheduling it, just in case you wanted to delete it. You wanted to change the schedule of the reel. So it's a nice feature to have, but it's still problematic. So just be wary of that. So I'm going to go back to the settings and I'm going to show you how to save this down like I just mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap edit again. Let me pause that. We're going to tap on the picture at the top so it's full screen. And you see at the top there's a downwards arrow with a line underneath it. If you tap that, it will save to my camera roll. So if I just tap save, and you'll see it says save without audio. Unfortunately, it will not save your audio, but it will save your video with all of your text, all of your transitions, and everything else. If I press save, that has now saved down to my phone in my camera roll. So if anything was to happen, I could just re-upload this video, add audio, and then it's all done again for me. So that's that. So if I go back to next again, it will take us to the screen. We've completely finished all of our settings. Our cover is done. Our caption is written. We have tagged people if there's anybody in the reel. Let's say you'd been and set up a wedding cake, for example, you could tag the venue, the florist, anything like that. Or even if you had your customer and you wanted to tag them in it, you could do that there. We've added our topics. we've added our location, we have shared it to Facebook as well, and then you can just hit share, or you can click save draft, which I'm going to do again now, and then I'm going to show you how to get into your drafts. So let's say I've gone away from Instagram, I've come back, I want to share that reel now. I haven't scheduled it, so I want to share it now. What you're going to do is, so this is my profile page, I'm on my normal grid, and then I'm going to tap the Reels button in the middle. So you can see just underneath my highlights above the grid, we've got the grid button and we've got a Reels button. So if I tap that, it will take me into all of the Reels that I've ever shared and also show me my drafts, which is here. If I tap that, it takes me all the way into my drafts, and then I can just tap that one. And it takes me straight back into it. Now, as you can see, Instagram's been a bit of a pain and it's changed my cover image. So all I'm going to do is press edit cover, add from camera roll, change that back to my favorites, and I'm going to add that again. Instagram does have a habit of being a bit of a pain and being a bit buggy at times. So as you can see, it changed my photo. So all I've done is just re-edit that. So before you share anything, just come in and just check all your settings. Just make sure everything's as it was as you left it. That's it. And that's how we would create our reel.
So now we have our reel. One thing that I wanted to tell you or remind you to do, it's a really good thing to get into the habit of doing, is saving your reel to your camera roll. The reason for this, so that's saving your draft, that is, when you're in the editor, you'll see that little down arrow that this is pointing to. If you press that, it will save it to your camera roll as well as in your drafts. The reason this is good practice is because if you log out of your Instagram, whether that's intentionally or not, or if your app runs an update or it has a random glitch, you could lose any drafts that you have recorded and saved in that app. And that can be really disheartening, especially if you spent ages and you're really happy with what you've got there saved and you're going to share it at a later date rather than straight away, and then you lose it, you're going to have to recreate it all again. So, but if you've saved it to your camera roll, you can just upload that video and then you'll just have to re-add your audio in. It won't save with your audio. So that's the only thing you would have to then add back into it. But it will have saved with all of the text that you've added on, any transitions or anything like that. So it's a really good idea just to get in the habit of saving it down. So now I want to have a look at using Reels templates. So you can create Reels from existing Reels from another account using the template feature. And this is a really great way of creating impressive Reels really quickly, as you're just simply adding your own clips to pre-timed template. So I've covered this a few times in a tutorial on my Instagram page, and also when I do my steal my reel features, I often say use the template button. It's a really great way of creating simple reels. It makes you look so creative without an awful lot of work. So I'm going to show you how to recreate that now.
So here we are, we're back on Instagram again, and I'm going to show you how to access the templates button. So again, we're going to press the plus button at the top or at the bottom of your screen, go into create a reel, and you can see across the top, we've got templates. So if I tap that, it's going to give you a whole load of suggested templates that it can use. So for example, this one with the drinks on, if I press on that one, it's going to give me a template that we can suggest. So I'm just going to pause that. And you can see across the bottom here, it's got loads of blank spaces for you to add in. So this one's quite a long one. You don't have to fill them all in, or you can do. And all you have to do is if I tap on that, I can add my own media for it. So I'm going to go back into my favorites. And I'm just going to pick a load of my cake pictures here just to add in. And this one's great because actually this audio is just that camera clicking noise. So we can just go ahead and we can add loads of cake pictures. In fact, I'm not going to think too much about this. I'm just going to add all of the ones that are full screen. So by that, I mean, doesn't have, see some of these have got a black box around them. Don't choose those because it won't fill your screen. So I'm just going to pick loads of cake pictures here. And that one, and that one. And I can just keep going. You see this one's got plenty, so we can just go, let's just pick all of these. Scroll a bit further down, let's grab some more, let's grab those cupcakes. You can add videos in. I'm just going to keep picking. So I've added clips of all of those, and then I'm just going to press next. And it will automatically pop these clips in. So it might just take a while because there's quite a few in this one, and it's probably just got to download a few of my pictures. But when it has done, you'll see that it's automatically done this. I haven't needed to adjust any of my clips, set the timings, anything like that. So there we go. Okay. Just going to pause that so it doesn't freeze my screen. But how cool is that? So it's automatically added all of those pictures in for me and set the timings. And then you can just press next and it will show you it again. And if I press next again, it's taken me to my caption screen. You can edit the cover. I'm quite happy with that one actually as the cover. But you could just drag your slider across these and you can pick any one of those out of there. So let's say if I wanted that one, do the same as we did before. Pick my profile cover. Actually don't like that one. See, on my grid, that wouldn't look as great as, say, for example, if I choose that one, set it as my profile grid, that one's quite nice. So press done. And you've got all of the same options as we had before. If you did want to add text to the reel, you absolutely can do in the exact same way as we did before. So if I just press that back button, I go to edit video, you can add text, you can add the audio, you can do whatever you want to it, just as the same as we did before. So that's how you would use templates. I'm just going to save that one as a draft. So as you can see, we've got lots of different templates that you could choose from, including some that I've saved, templates from audio that I've saved. So if you've saved an audio and then you're just not sure what to do with it, you can come and check out the templates, trending templates, recommended for me, and some Halloween ones. So obviously we've just had Halloween. I pre-recorded this just before, so it's given me some there. No doubt there'll be some Christmas ones coming up soon. So it's always worth coming back and checking. Now I'm going to come back out of that because I also want to show you how you can use templates from an existing reel. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to find one of my reels that has the template feature to show you. So we're on my reels page and I'm going to pick this one here that says steal my reel with the heart and the roses in the background. So if I tap on this one, so I'm just going to turn the volume off on that one for a second. In fact, I'm going to press and hold it just to pause it while I can talk to you. So this is one I set up specifically to show you how to use the template button. Now, because I'm on my Reels page, it's showing where the arrow is. It would show to you use template. For me, it's showing see insights because obviously I don't need to use the template. But I'm also going to show you another way to check to see if it has a template button or not. So if I unpause it, I'm going to tap the three dots in the bottom corner just above the audio. And then you'll see it says use as template. So you've got manage. These are my editing options because it's my own reel, but I can tap use as template and it's got those same options. Just pause it. It's got the same options here to add our own media. So I can tap either one of the boxes there with the three spaces. And this video is actually great because you only need 3 bits of media for yourself. So I'm going to add media. And again, let's go into my favorites. Let's pick some cakes from here. Just pick those 3. If I press next, it'll automatically generate my reel. There we go. Press next. And then next, and then you can save your template. So that is how you would use the templates function.
I know that's a lot to take in, and there is so much more you can actually do with the reels. Far too much for me to cover in this one lesson. But if you start with this and get comfortable creating these simple kind of reels, you can then explore further techniques as you grow and get more comfortable with them. My full social media course covers reels in a much greater depth. So if this is something you would like to master even more, come back for tomorrow's lesson. I'm going to talk about that course with you a little bit more tomorrow. And if you still feel it's a lot of effort or that you don't have time to film extra content for your reels, I want to tell you that you can create reels easily with very little additional effort. You will already have the content ready, I promise you. So here's some top tips. Tip 1, you can create reels just using photos. So if you're not in the habit of filming videos of your cakes or any behind the scene footage, you can still use reels. If you already take photos of your cakes, you've got content for Reels. Tip 2. You don't need to go out of your way to film additional content. Set up your phone to record either as a normal video or as a time lapse using your phone's camera settings, and record as you work. That could be the mixing of a sponge cake, for example. You're at the mixing stage, you're mixing your ingredients or weighing your ingredients or decorating that cake, or even setting up a venue or just boxing a cake. Put all of these together. The hardest thing is remembering to actually record. So if you can think ahead and set yourself a reminder, it will help you to get into the routine of actually doing this. So you're just recording the jobs that you're already going to be doing anyway. Tip 3. Reels can and should be fun. Don't overthink it, just start creating. So in summary, Reels are only short videos and you don't need to be scared of them. Reels will help your business to reach more people, increase your customer engagement, show your brand personality, and drive more inquiries because of this. And you don't have to dance. This is age-old thing that people think they have to dance in Reels. I don't think that's been a thing for a while, so don't be scared. But of course, you can if you want to. So if you were thinking at the beginning of this lesson that Reels were impossible, too complicated, and too much effort, how do you feel now? I hope this has inspired you to think about using Reels. So the task today is, I would like you to have a go at creating a Reel. I'm going to share links to some templates that I have created that you can choose to recreate. So all you'll need to do is go and use that template button to recreate one of mine that I've shared on the task thread, or you can create your own. Try and include a hook within the first 2 seconds, and I'd like you to try and include a call to action both in the reel itself and in your caption. So even if that's just asking people to like your post, so for example, like if you agree, or tag someone you know who would love this cake too. And then you're going to come back into this Facebook group, comment on our task 3 post with either the link to your reel or a screenshot, and let me know you've done it for that prize entry draw for you. You can even tag me at the Cake Business Queen on Instagram, and I'll see it live there for some extra support for you over there. Remember, you can do it. If you've got any questions about Reels, let me know in the comments, comment on this video. Anytime during the week, you might want to come back and rewatch this as you're creating your Reel. I want to help you as much as I can during this training week, so please do ask me. And if you'd like to enter the prize draw to win that place on my social media course, please comment on the task threads by 8 o'clock this evening, because that will make sure that I've seen everybody and can make sure I can get all of your entries in before we announce the winner tomorrow morning. And that will be our final lesson in the Boost Bootcamp tomorrow morning. So I really hope you will be there. It's going to be a special masterclass for you. I'm going to tell you all about my Queen method. That's the 4-step method to get more inquiries for your cake business through social media. You're going to have the chance to answer questions again. So please bring along your best questions to comment on the video. And again, I'm going to help you as much as I can. And our winner is going to be announced too. Thank you so much again for watching today's lesson. I'm going to go ahead and put that task post in the group for you now to comment on. I can't wait to see your reels.